Disclaimer. This information shared in the podcast is for informational and education purposes only. It does not constitute medical or dental advice and should not be relied on upon as such. Always consult a licensed dental professional for any dental concerns or treatments. The view of this opinions expressed of those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect those of the host nor the podcast. Neither the host nor the guest assumes any liability for actions taken based on the content of this episode.
Welcome back to ID Fitness Podcast. Today's guest is Rebecca Edwards, a wife, mom, and a full-time dentist that owns her own practice. And in this episode is packed with both personal wisdom and professional insight. We talk about her journey balancing out a career in dentistry with motherhood, faith, and fitness, and how she learned to embrace the structure without chasing perfection. Rebecca also answers some great questions from our audience, especially around her field as a dentist. From oral health tips to navigating patient care, as a working mom, she shares honest, practical advice from her own experiences in and outside the clinic. This conversation blends science, faith, discipline, and grace. And whether you're here for dental advice, real life encouragement, or both, you're going to walk away with something valuable. Let's jump into this thoughtful and inspiring episode with Dr. Rebecca Edwards. All right, we're live with ID Fitness Podcast. I want to thank Rebecca Edwards for coming here. She has her own dental practice. Rebecca, we're glad that you're here.
Oh, well, thank you, CJ. I'm glad to be here. This is a cool setup.
Thank you. So we're going to dive straight in. We want to dive in some of the questions that our audience has just to give them some value right away.
Okay.
So we'll go to the first question.
Okay.
From Jaron.
Okay,
he says,
Jaron.
Electric toothbrush versus manual one. Which is clearly better?
I like the manual.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I like, so you can feel the pressure. You can do the things and get all the crevices. So I'm a manual kind of girl.
Manual. Got it. And then Maddie asked, what is your take on fluoride? Should we be using it or should we not? And Armando has a very similar question they're kind of tied into, and he talks about fluoride toothpaste. Yeah. Is it safe or not? So go on your tangent with that.
That's a whole podcast and a hot seat. Loaded questions, guys. Okay. But very fundamental for biological dentistry. So I get that. I was a fluoride person. So coming from a traditional, that's what I was taught. It, however, didn't really make a lot of sense to me in some ways. And so now I am an advocate for fluoride free, especially in our drinking water. Number one, it reduces IQ. Wow. It's a neurotoxin. That's how it actually gets the bacteria and kills them. Well, we need a good microbiome. So I come from the terrain theory versus the germ theory. Let's clean the tank and not let's learn to be in the tank like a fish.
Yeah.
Fish has all kinds. If we put distilled water in a fish tank, what would the fish do? They would die. Right. Because they have friendlies and they have all these little bacteria that we can't see that are in there and that are good. And then their immune system is good. They have the nutrients they need. They live and thrive in that environment. But if we were to put dead water, like distilled water in there, they would die. Well, that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're doing with fluoride, is killing some of the microbiome, especially the ones responsible for nitric oxide, which is what we use for vasodilation. So that means the blood vessels to be healthy and to can run through the blood through the pipes and everything. So if we use fluoride, it kills those microbiome that are responsible for helping with nitric oxide. So there we get some more cardiovascular issues. There's some erectile dysfunction for men. There's, it goes through a whole bunch of sleep apnea. It's like a gamut of things with just fluoride. So like mouthwash, toothpaste, we want to get rid of that. We just want to clean, healthy mouth. We really don't even need toothpaste, actually. So we just need the mechanical brushing and flossing is better than anything. So, that was on a chat board with my friends or colleagues today. Somebody was asking about a toothpaste in particular, and in my opinion, and several others, that we believe that just the act of manually disrupting the plaque off your teeth and flossing, you should be good. Yeah.
Is there a toothpaste that you recommend that you personally use that you like, or not really?
I get some sent to me all the time. There's we have Boca. We have about 5 different toothpaste actually in our office that patients can purchase, and it doesn't matter. It's like a cosmetic. It's still considered a cosmetic. It's not a drug. So You can even use baking soda. That's a really good one. It neutralizes. It doesn't destroy bacteria. It's healthy for the gums. So, you can be really basic.
Mm-hmm. I did not know that.
Yeah.
And then hydroxyapatite toothpaste, never heard of this, by the way, is getting a lot of attention. Is the hype real?
Okay, so on that, tooth is calcium hydroxyapatite. Bone is hydroxyapatite. So what they're trying to do is make this into a product. So getting that hydroxyapatite, and you can buy the powder actually through bulk supplements. You can say hydroxyapatite, and they'll have you can get that powder, so you can make your own toothpaste, and that's perfectly well within the realm. Now, there's a lot of controversy with nano being a nanoparticle. It's just the particle size. It's not anything bad per se. But like, again, if you're some people don't like that word or don't want this, just use baking soda, or don't just manually brush your teeth and floss. Eat a healthy diet, drink plenty of water, and you'll be good. Yeah. And get some sunshine.
Sunshine, yes. All right, so we'll dive into Corey, one of my motocross buddies I ride with. He said, are root canals really necessary, or are they a scam?
Okay, so they're seeing a lot of social media posts, aren't they? So fun fact, Dr. Edwards used to love doing root canals, but I don't do them anymore. I'm not an advocate, except in different cases. If the individual is healthy, if the individual, that's the only treatment. So there's a lot of root canals being done for a lot of different reasons that don't need to. And it's just lack of awareness and education of what else could be the problem, getting down to the root cause. It's not that the dentists are so gung-ho. It is easier to be paid when you're an insurance model practice and you're going to get that insurance to pay for that. You're going to go to something easy because the patient is driving that insurance. They're like, oh, I only want to do what my insurance pays. Well, your insurance is only going to pay for not regenerative pulp therapy, but it's going to pay for a root canal. And you're in pain and you're like, well, do whatever you got to do to make it better, instead of let's take a moment, let's pause and breathe. I know that's hard when you're hurting, but could it be that you've got a tooth TMJ problem, like a joint problem? There's a nerve that could be that. It could be that the tooth is allergic to whatever the product is. A lot of dentists aren't aware of that. And biomaterials, just like you're allergic to, maybe somebody might be allergic to penicillin. You can be allergic to one of the materials that I put into your mouth. Well, that tooth, of course, the pulp is going to be inflamed. So there's a lot of digging to where, does the tooth really need this or does it not? That's the question, and it's the education that's lacking in that community. So, you can do pulp regenerative therapies.
Now, what is that? Like, how would
That's where we go into and actually remove decay, and it might be into the pulp, and then we give it things that it likes. Like, when I do it, I use platelet-rich fibrin, stem cells from your blood. We put that in there and drown it in that, and then we use melatonin, which is a great antioxidant. And then we cover it up with some product that will help, like with hydroxyapatite, that actually will help regenerate it. So if you've got the nutrients in your body and you've been doing great, and I'll make sure I can walk you through it, then we can regenerate that pulp. Now, if it's dead, it's dead.
It's dead, yeah. Now, once it's rejuvenated, it basically will heal itself and harden and everything? Wow.
Yeah, if you give it the right things. So, like, I go back to sunlight. So we need vitamin D. That's the biggest thing I talk about in my practice. You need that and the minerals to go back into the pulp and regenerate it. So if the pulp has everything it needs, the tooth is going to be viable and live and strong. So we go in and regenerate the pulp.
Now, what's the pulp? Is that the nerve?
It's a nerve, vein, artery, and nerve into the tooth. Consider the tooth just like an organ, like your liver has a function, right? Has nerve supply and it has a blood supply. So that's how we consider it an organ. So each one of those teeth are organs.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
No, that helps a lot. And actually, my little sister asked this. Oh. When it comes to a damaged tooth, is it better to get a root canal or just have it pulled? Now, I guess it kind of goes into
how bad
is it?
Yeah. So there's another form of our dentistry. Some people are traditional dentists, but they will practice biomimetic dentistry. So it's trying to build up your tooth the way that it was most naturally. So you can do that. If the damage didn't go too far, then you can regenerate it and help it and then nourish it and make it well again. So it just, that's a lot of variables in that question.
Yeah. No, I figured we have such a big system of systems that it does take time. And then Lauren asked, what happens if people stop drinking fluoride water?
No, that's good for you. Yeah, you might actually open up your pineal gland and have a more creative moment.
Yeah.
You might have better gut microbiome because as you're drinking it, remember I talked about in the beginning, it killing the bacteria in your mouth. Well, it's going to kill your gut bacteria. So it disrupts the microbiome. I'm a filtered water gal. I don't do any.
You don't mess with it.
I don't mess with it. Yeah, no. I mean, there is some naturally occurring. God, of course, we have fluorine on the periodic table, so it was naturally occurring. But the product that they put in the water systems is not the same thing.
Got it.
Yeah, so it's a byproduct.
Why does Ozempic seem to be linked to tooth decay, especially in older adults?
Ooh, okay, that's a good one. It's even going to be in younger adults too. It's because why are we having to take the Ozempic in the first place? There's probably a nutrient or metabolic dysfunction at the cellular level that's causing the issue of why did the person get overweight in the first place? Their leptin and ghrelin, those peptides that we naturally have, are not working correctly. So dig deep. Now, there's a lot of my colleagues, especially in the integrative realm, and you'll see podcasters microdosing, very light doses for inflammation, but our bodies will make it. We don't need a GLP-1. We just need to give the nutrients it is to support it so your body can make it itself. There's a reason why it could be in a snip in the metabolic process. You're missing a nutrient, your body's not getting all of what it needs, and it won't make it. So you can go back and try to rebuild your body to where it'll make it. But nothing helps more than exercise, movement. My pillars: peace pillar, movement pillar, hydration pillar, nutrition pillar. You get all of those in your sleep, you're going to be a great human.
Yeah, it's like almost they're using it as just covering something up that actually needs to be dived into.
Crutch or lack of discipline. I mean, why are you taking it? Is it lack of discipline? Is it, and you can eventually get off of it. I know some people who are on it to get them to the next step. I get that, but make sure your habits you're getting in those pillars as you're doing it. I know, there's a lot, you just need help sometimes and it's there. However, don't become dependent on it. Don't do all the things. Strength training, you know that you've got to strength train. What it'll do is eat away at your muscles, and you don't want that. And then gastroparesis is a big byproduct.
Yeah.
But the reason why they're getting cavities is because their stomach function isn't working correctly, and they can't support the nutrients. So.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because what I've realized too with some of the people that I know that are taking Ozempic, they're losing a lot of muscle mass too at the same time. So it's just like
it eats the muscle mass. It's going to go for that. Yeah.
And I think you're just trading another problem for another one.
Yeah. Do you want to be? You're going to be skinny fat.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So you're going to have those fat cells are still going to be there, but then you're going to be skinny, but you're going to be skinny fat.
Yeah.
And then it's what happens when you go off of it. Well, you're going to blow up because those fat cells go back to that, and then you don't have any muscle underneath it.
Yeah, it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kiri, actually Ben's wife, asked this: can an overuse of supplements negatively affect our teeth? And if so, like which ones that we commonly
overuse the supplements? Mm-hmm. Well, the first question I would ask: what are you using, and why are you doing those? So I have a big top 5 I use. You don't want to go into using supplements because you don't want to have good eating habits, or because you don't, the discipline part on eating habits. So my top 5 are vitamin D. Most people are severely low around here because they put on sunglasses, they wear caps, they don't ever get any sun, they're inside all day, they look at screens, that pulls away. They put on sunscreen, they put on a lot of clothes, they're scared of the sun.
Yep.
And they are very deficient, and that will cause metabolic distress on all levels. So, and then magnesium is not in our soil, so therefore it's not in our food. So we need that supplement because it's responsible for thousands of reactions in our body. So, and then omega-3s, some fats. Mm-hmm. And then vitamin C, because our food is depleted of it by the time it gets to the grocery store and into our house. We almost have to pick it off the tree to get it to the nutrient level. So those are the things that I usually encourage. Supplement. Anything else is like you can do, you might want to do creatine. Well, that you can do too much of that one, and you're going to be having what my husband had. He did too much of it, and now we've got some liver and kidney issues. Yeah. So we just back off of them. Most of them are water soluble, so you can back off of them. Yeah. But most of them you're gonna excrete in your urine.
Urine in your urine. Yeah. It's interesting you say that because I take vitamin D3, I take magnesium, take a little bit of creatine, and then my magnesium has a little B vitamins in there too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting you say that.
Yeah, we're all missing a lot of it. It's just because our depleted food system.
Yeah, and it strips everything.
Yeah.
I like this one. Lauren asked this too: is why do dogs build up a harder tartar on their teeth?
Okay, yeah, I remember that question.
Humans don't. Typically don't.
Lauren, well, humans do, and they do a lot, and dogs shouldn't do it. If they were eating a more primal diet of what a dog should, instead of the kibble or what we manufacture, they won't get that out in the wild. So we don't see that out in the wild. And the same goes for people. We won't get it if we have all of those nutrients. We go back to an ancestral diet with the Weston Price Foundation. We see that we won't have those issues and that tartar buildup if we're hydrated. Nutrition, movement, moving the lymph, moving that around, getting sunshine, all of those things, you won't have that tartar buildup. So when you have a dog, is it the inside dog and they're not getting out that much? Is it getting mostly kibble? Is it getting tap water, and not living water? You got to factor in all those things. And then the immune system on humans as well as animals has been annihilated through injections. If you kind of get my drift for that, I don't want you to get you get flagged on that. So thinking your immune system comes from something that you inject into your arm is not the way the immune system works. So that is bypassing innate immunity versus acquired or adaptive immunity, which is what most products that you inject in your arm for immunity.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that too, because I've noticed just with animals in general, you go see wild dogs and it's they're alive, they're vibrant, they're super fit looking. And if you look at your dog, you're like, man, those wild dogs are too skinny. But in reality, it's just they're healthy.
They're supposed to be that way. Yeah.
Our dogs have allergies. They're blown up. They have arthritis. They can barely move around.
Yeah. And what are we doing more of putting product in them so they won't get this, this, and this. Well, if they're healthy, again, they're not going to get this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And most dogs aren't out in the wild around rabid animals. I mean, my two are really bougie. I mean, I would like to have the lifestyle of my two dogs.
Next question. Are cavities actually contagious?
So that's a loaded question too on immunity. So if we go back to earlier in the podcast when I was talking about the germ theory versus terrain theory, keeping yourself healthy, you're going to have a force shield type around you. Yes, the K is in the saliva. So if you were to kiss, or I think another thing I saw earlier was about babies and getting them, it goes to immunity, metabolic. If you're hydrating, doing all the food, eating good choices, moving, all of those things, your immune system is on point. You've got vitamin D necessary for a proper immune system. You're not going to catch cavities from somebody else. Now, other people will tell you different if they are in the germ theory. But if you're in the germ theory, you're going to be the boy in the bubble. And you're not going to be able to be around anybody because your immune system can't handle anything. You're destroying your immune system.
Would you explain the two theories? Like, so how would you camp those people?
Okay, so like remember the fish. The fish we're going to clean. We're going to give all these products. We're going to give antibiotics. We're going to give all these things to the fish instead of just going in and letting the fish be in the tank and making sure the fish has all the things in the tank that it needs. Mm-hmm.
Got it. So it's like making sure making sure I get this into my head. The fish is in the bowl or in the tank, and it has everything it needs. So things are to be clean. Certain things will be dirty just based off natural things versus us putting distilled water in there, clean the whole tank so you don't see any green at all, which in reality is kind of good a little bit because they're fighting each other in a sense of germs. But
yeah, germs are friends.
Yeah.
We're mostly germs. Actually, we have more germs in our body than we do our human cells.
Yeah.
Quantum level thinking right there. Yeah.
All right. And then what are the red flags to watch for in a dentist? Because I think
that's a loaded question. I think everybody has good, lovely intentions. Everybody. I kind of use quotes around that. But most people, if you feel like you're being pushed or you can't ask questions or you can't have a pause when somebody's trying to tell you something and they're saying, no, this is the only way, then, and you feel like in your gut, like, oh, maybe I should go investigate this. Research, ask. It's okay. If they're offended by you asking a question, it's your health. They don't have to live with it. You do. If it's like you've got to make a decision right now, that's not something I want to do. I mean,
yeah, it's interesting you say that because a while back, it was probably like 7 years ago for me. I was just getting my teeth cleaned. And I hate going to the dentist.
Most people don't like it.
Yeah, it's funny how the stigma that goes around it. And what's interesting, when I walked in your practice, I was like, I don't feel like I'm in the dentist.
Oh.
Like, it just felt so homey and relaxed. You just had a completely different vibe, like you said, with the lights and all that. We'll get into all that stuff. But back to the story I was saying is they were like, oh yeah, your tooth is kind of cracked in the back. We need to, take care of that right away. I'm like, but it's not hurting.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, if we don't feel it now, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, I'm not doing it. Yeah. Like it doesn't hurt. Right. I clean my teeth. I floss my teeth. My vitamin D level's good. Like in the back of my head, that's what my thing. I just never went back.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's some cases where I would go, well, let's just keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
And then there's some that I'm like, oh, well, go and look at it.
Yeah.
Research it. And we can come back and revisit that later.
Yeah.
If it's not bothering you, we don't have to make that decision today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm totally open to all of that.
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day when I was talking to you. It was really interesting. I was like, I totally forgot I did that. This is a good one, especially just with you being a business owner now, how do you feel about private equity firms buying up dental practices? Because I've also heard of this too.
Oh yeah, they're
buying them up.
Well, yeah, because they can see the revenue. What hurts is the employees usually will get a cut, so they're made to push. You're not doing what you originally thought you were doing to go in to help people. Now you've got a company that says, all right, we need these profits. We need this much production per day. We need, because I don't even pay attention to that, believe it or not. My team will like, no, I'm not going to be subject to that.
Yeah.
So this much production, we're going to cut the cost. So we're going to make this product, this cheap product. That's the only product you can use. So it kind of ties. The dentist can't go, well, I would like to use this product because most of my patients, no, you can't do that. You're going to be, these are the only products you can do. This is the procedures you're going to do, and you're going to do this many a day. So, because, you've got board members and people that want to see you're making money. Otherwise, you're making money for somebody else, not just for your team.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that pressure.
So in healthcare, I don't think that's a good thing.
Yeah. I call healthcare sick care.
Yes.
Functional dentistry is becoming more popular.
Mm-hmm.
What's the real benefit or the hype?
Okay, so let's define that. That's a big functional dentistry. We'll call ourselves integrative, functional, holistic, biological. We're kind of trying to find our best nuanced word because we're like, I would consider myself very techie and scientific. Whereas if you said holistic, what it used to be, it wasn't so. You're like, you might think woo-woo.
Yeah.
Kumbaya dentistry, throw a little herbs on it. Let's do some mushrooms and we'll call it a day.
It goes back to what you said yesterday when you were just like, yeah, we're not giving you any medicine for this root canal.
So some people think it may be like childbirth. You got to go through natural childbirth or going to the dentist. You got to be all natural. So I can't get any numbing. I can't do any sedation. What are you talking about? I'm scared to death. And I'm like, no. It's not like that. It's totally not like that. So we just look at how the body is affected by the oral health and how the oral health affects the rest of the body because it's all attached. So we've kind of gotten where traditional dentistry is more tooth focused and focused on right in that cavity. I'm going to go in and say, look, I see this erosion on your tooth. It could be, I would suggest that you have stomach issues. And they're like, well, yeah, I pop stomach pills all the time. I have reflux. I've got all of these. And I'm like, okay, let's dig deeper. Then I'll go and look at their joints, and their joints are all, well, do you have head and neck pain? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so dig deeper. And it's a gut microbiome. It's their stress levels. You can look at all of those things, and just by looking at the teeth, whereas they're just, you're brushing too hard. I'm sorry, but if you were to brush that hard, your gums would be bleeding all over the place. So that's not a fact. That's false. So most people are not brushing too hard unless you're gonna really get it. And you're gonna be abraded,
or you're using a wire brush.
Yeah, you're not gonna do that. There's other issues lying with that. So functional medicine, integrative dentistry, biological, we're all kind of about the same way, where we see the oral systemic connection and dive deeper and making sure those connections are there, and work closely with our friends, naturopaths, functional medicine doctors, and things like that. So we're in this little bubble, they're in that little bubble, kind of like Egypt versus the promised land is the way I look at it.
Okay. Yeah, what's interesting too is I'm starting to realize that more like holistic or functional medicine or integrative medicine, they're starting to like build teams and communicate better with each other. Like the functional medicine doctors whose practice just generally is now communicating with the dentist down the street.
Right.
And it's like they're building this team to look at the systems together, be like, hey, we don't really think it's this. We actually think it's a gut problem.
Right.
You know, how can we help this person instead of doing this root canal? Like, I think we can actually just help them heal.
Right. Like I work with a lot of functional medicine doctors, and they'll go, well, we're in these protocols, especially Dr. Pompa. A lot of people, if they're listening to a podcast, they listen to Pompa, or they've listened to Dome, or they listen to some people like that will go in and look at their gut health. Well, what's causing the gut health? Is it a tooth? We've done all these things. It could be a tooth. Is there infection? Chronic? Yeah. And I'll go in and I'm like, yes, you have a root canal, and yes, it's got chronic infection. Or you may have an old place where a wisdom tooth was taken out and it didn't heal properly. Well, that's harvesting bacteria, and so that can lead to chronic inflammation, and you can have aching joints, disrupted gut microbiome. Some of it's dementia, Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease. All of it's attached to those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's always fascinating to me when I was talking to you yesterday and I was checking out just your work and everybody you're working with. It's interesting how just your oral health really is another indicator of other stuff is going wrong. Yeah. And your body is a system of systems, and they work together.
And they used to do, like back in the day when there was slavery, they would look before they would buy their slave and look in their mouth. They could tell about their metabolic health. Well, you can clean up anybody, make them smell good, make them look good. But then you look in their mouth and you're like, oh, not that. And they would do that with horses, and cattle, and to that too. They would say, okay, well, we don't want this horse. Or it was the same way with slavery. They would look at their skin, they would look in their mouth, they would look at their eyes. So those are the windows to the rest of your body. So I can give a pretty good indication without looking at any medical history, just by looking at your mouth. And then we can play that game of, let's see if it's on the medical history chart before they came in, Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. This is one of the last questions we have. How is dental health connected to heart disease? Oh, you talk about this. Or just other chronic illnesses?
So what they found in heart disease, in the plaques in the arteries, they have found dental bacteria associated with that. So what happens when you have plaque in your arteries? Well, number one, they can get smaller, right? We talked about that at the beginning with nitric oxide. So they decrease in size. Then you have all this, you can have pathogens inside your blood vessels. So they'll attach. And so then you make a wall so it won't get to the rest of the body. And that's usually the inflammatory that'll help with the immune system is cholesterol. Well, somebody's taking a statin, or somebody's like, you've got a cholesterol issue. No, you don't have that issue in your blood system. It's just showing up to the party and getting in there because it's, I'm sorry, I'm losing my words. He's a victim and he wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
He's just at the party, Okay, the party's going on. Something bad's happening.
This seems high.
This seems high. And then he shows up, he's there. Oh, you must be the problem. Well, no, it was this problem. It was this infection in this tooth that's chronic and it's been there and nobody's told you about it.
Wow.
That's the Bell-Donine method, is how to end the heart attack gene. It's a really good book.
Really?
Uh-huh. And that method is now being used by some cardiologists, so where they'll go in and see this oral systemic connection.
Wow.
So there's a lot to that. And then there's Reversing Disease with Magnesium, and that's a book by Dr. Thomas Levy. It's down to the cellular level where calcium is not into the cell where it should be. That's why we need magnesium to put it into the calcium into the cell instead of floating around in your bloodstream.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I have two questions. Mm-hmm. I mean, you talked about it a little bit yesterday. I'm 34 years old.
Okay.
And my wisdom teeth are just now coming in.
Yeah.
And they're coming, I mean, from what I can tell, pretty straight. Like, what are some of the misconceptions? Should I be nervous about it because it's coming in? Is it okay that they're coming in?
As long as they're coming in and they have room and there's no inflammation around there and you've got a seal to where it's not getting into the rest of the body, then they're good. I used to be really good at taking out wisdom teeth, and I liked doing it, especially impacted ones. But now I'm like, it's not such a good idea. Number one, most 20-year-olds are not the healthiest they've ever been metabolically.
Mm-hmm.
They may feel like they are, but they're not. Their vitamin D levels are completely so low because a lot of, especially 20-year-olds, are playing video games instead of getting outside.
In the sun.
Yeah. And so when we do that procedure, then they don't heal. So we take them out. Okay. So what we really want to do, God gave us 32 teeth. We should be able to have all 32 teeth in our mouth and erupt properly. And it's because the size decreased in our jaws because of industrialization. Dr. Weston Price talked about this in his book. And that's where I would go with the development of the jaws have gotten smaller.
Yeah.
But we've got all these teeth. So we actually should have a big full complement of 32 teeth. So I'm with that.
You're in that camp.
I'm at that camp. We should have all 32 teeth. And then some of them are going to be impacted. Leave them there. If they're never erupted, they're okay.
Yeah.
It's okay for those teeth to be in there. They're not going to do crazy things.
Turn to aliens.
So there's a lot of relearning and educating myself that I've had to go through. But it's critical thinking skills. It's thinking, okay. And it's going back to biblical ways. So if God made our body, he's
pretty smart.
Pretty smart guy. Yeah. I think if you think about it, he had a purpose for everything he made. And we've come into this world with corruption because, the fall.
Yeah.
So we just got to get back to where we should be. They don't have dentists in these primal cultures. And that's what Dr. Weston Price, these people are great. What's wrong with the people in my practice in the United States? Yeah. And then he goes through and studies it in his book.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Great book.
What do you think about teeth whiteners, getting your teeth whitened? Or is there a safe way? Is there ones that you're like, hey, I would avoid this just based off your knowledge?
If it's got fluoride in it, I hate it.
Yeah. Most of it has
fluoride. You can do
fluoride.
too much. Yeah. Most of it has fluoride in it.
Wow.
But I'm not opposed to it. You're just getting basically the protein. It's taking a little protein off the surface of your tooth. Now, some of it's intrinsic and deep down. So there could have been a metabolic issue when your teeth were forming that made them be yellow.
Yeah.
They may be deficient.
Now, does coffee stain your teeth then technically, or is that just a myth?
If they're porous, and it's just got that protein stain on it, so you need to keep them clean.
Yeah. Now, you talked about just a biblical worldview and having that, which I think is fascinating. One of the things that was like, I really want to get you on the podcast. How has that impacted your career and the way you just view everything and just in general with your practice?
Well, starting out, I think this is the vocation that God put me in. I think he wanted me to be a dentist. I've wanted to do that ever since I was 6 years old. And through a series of unfortunate events, I was like in the dental chair constantly. And then I had an accident at 18 years old, knocked out all of my front teeth. And it was like, okay, you're going to have an experience and this is going to help you, So it was a blessing. It wasn't fun at the time, but it was a blessing. So all these front teeth I have are fake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've always thought of myself as looking at things through God's eyes and how can you see the beauty in it. But he did create us. He created all things. And then I'm sorry, I'm kind of going on the tangent here.
Go on a tangent. That's why we have the podcast. That's why we want it.
But if we look at the sun, that's a nutrient. We look at sleep. It's a process that we have to go through and we're not getting enough of. So we can all go back to every single thing has a verse to go back with it. the nutrients. He gave us all these plants and everything. We've corrupted it and put man-made lab stuff in there, and preservatives and things like that. So like the bread of life, we should be able to eat bread. And I'm with the freshly milled bread people, with Sue Becker and the bread Beckers.
Yeah.
And then sun, what was in the garden? There was sunshine, right? So, and he made us naked. So we obviously can get out in the sun naked. So why can't we do that now? Why is it so bad now?
Yeah.
Well, it's really not. It's all the stuff that we're taking in, the toxins, the seed oils combined with staying inside and not getting outside.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot, but everything I can go back to and say, okay, is there a biblical reference to this?
Yeah. And I think it's so wise to do that because you're going back to objective truth and comparing it with subjective, which gives us our pillars, like you said. And I've noticed that too with clients here is just getting them to move better. Like they didn't come here to get their gut fixed. They came here to get fit. That's what they wanted to do. They want to get stronger. But a byproduct of that is once they started moving more and taking more steps, their digestion got better.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating.
It'll move that stuff around and get it out of there.
Yes.
I mean, you have to do that. And it gets that lymph moving. I mean, movement is one of the things he made us to work and to be in that garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what's really fascinating with your story is you were basically what you would call yourself a regular dentist for 30 years, right?
Well, yeah, 28, yeah. Close to that, yeah.
Close to 30 years. Mm-hmm. And then during that time, you were working for somebody else.
I had my practice for 23 years,
okay.
Private practice. So I did in Arkansas.
Got it.
I was completely burnt out. Yeah. Because I kept on seeing these things over and over. And I thought, I'm a failure. I must not be doing something right. But at the same time, God always plants seeds in your life. Whether you pick them up and do anything with them, whether you just leave them in the ground for a little while and then they'll harvest. But he gave me people, like I had one patient that's funny that she was like, I don't want any fluoride. And I thought, are you kidding me? You don't want fluoride? Oh, the nerve, the nerve. And then, but it made me like, oh, maybe there's something to this. Maybe I should just go, look, let's think about this. In biblical terms, I'm like, God said that I have everything I need when I was brought into this world, basically. Mm-hmm. So do I need fluoride? Did Jesus have fluoride? I don't think. Toothpaste? Did he have Crest? No, I don't think so. I don't think that that's the way it did. Now, did they do mechanical brushing? Probably so, somehow, some form. But they weren't dependent on Crest products, Colgate or something like that. So, and then that made me question. And then I had another one that had some questions. And then I met this guy who was in my orthodontics organization with me when I was doing that. He was like, I just get all my patients to get off this and we go only on carrot juice for a little while. And then I get their health and they start getting more vibrant and more healthy. And then we could do something that's anti-inflammatory. He did a lot of TMJ stuff. So this joint that has inflammation.
Yeah.
So he was on to something. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, Sam, you're kind of crazy. and then, but I file it away, put the seed in the ground. It was just little bitty things like that. And then I would have a patient question me. And then I'm like, this patient just had a heart attack and I saw their gums go absolutely berserk right before that. What was up with that? Why is this person got all this tartar in their brushing their teeth? What's going? It was just questions. And so when I met my people finally, and God bloomed this into Grove Dental and biological dentistry, he's like, this is where I wanted you. That was Egypt. Now I've got a journey and this is my promised land. So I love practicing now and I've got a new love for it. And he made me work for other people and I was like, I'll go work for somebody else. Just take my paycheck, go home.
Yep.
do all the drill, fill, and bill. I'm not going to think twice about it. I call it mindless dentistry, where all you're doing is being a monkey mechanic of the mouth.
Yeah.
And now this is like, I get to actually think and do critical thinking skills and put this as an individual, not as a tooth that I do a filling on, because that's what you're supposed to do. But I actually get to dig deeper and help them go on a journey of finding out why they even got the cavity to begin with, or helping moms get with their children and females that are fertile age to help them have healthy babies that don't get cavities, because that's when it starts, is when you're in your reproductive years before you have children. So it's a lot more fun. And collaborating with doctors who see the same things I do. What? I mean, it's so fun.
It's cool too. It's like you're almost taking what you've known in your past, and now you're helping people like, okay, this is what you can do for your kids. This is what you can do for the next generation. Right. It's like, it's prevention.
Yeah.
Which is really encouraging, because if you're just billing and drilling, you're not really doing any prevention.
No, you're not, you don't have time. And the insurance model has got it to where they don't have time to even look at that or discuss, because you're like, I've got a contract with this company that I'll do this procedure for this amount of money, but it actually is costing me more money to do it. So therefore, the only way I can make it work is just to do it like a factory and not think about it. Like, don't think, just do. Don't think, just do it. And that's the mindless, sickening part of where I came from. That's the way a lot of corporate dentistry or the private equity, let's go back to that question, will do, because, you've got to, well, we've contracted with this company and we've contracted this price, and then we've got to make these in order to pay Nancy, Sally, and Heather for their skills to help you. We're just going to produce, and we're not going to think about that individual and what else could be going on with them and how we can help them.
Yeah, and what's interesting too is that I've noticed even this with myself, catching myself do this, is when I felt the most amount of burnout was when I was just kind of like being like, get in and get out. Mindlessly, just get people fit, leave them, don't think about it when you go home. Like, and then it's like you have the other perspective where kind of goes back down what you were saying is, let's think about the individual, and also how can we not let this keep recurring. And that actually is very entertaining and life-giving when you start to think that, because it feels like you're making a difference in the world.
Yeah.
But when you're just in this system, it just feels like you're a robot.
Right. And you have to work with that individual. Like I go with a lot of people are struggling. They're wounded people. The peace pillar, that's a big, huge area that we just overlook. We're just being too busy. A lot of people can cope with a lot of things with joy if they find joy, if they have peace, if they have a relationship with Jesus. They'll do a lot better. They can move out. They can have all the sickness in the world, but if they have Jesus, hey, they can have joy in that circumstance, and that's a huge thing.
Yeah, there was one quote that I've seen on Instagram of a girl. She was going through cancer, and she was just like, the beautiful thing is that I have Christ with me during the suffering.
Yeah.
It's not that it makes suffering go away, but at least you have an advocate speaking on your behalf.
Yeah.
Which is powerful and gives people hope.
And there's all different ways to go at your health. I know there's like, I don't want there to be separation. I don't want it to be separation like, oh, well, you're allopathic or you're traditional and you're this way. That's the enemy wanting to come in and separate us. So when like, let's come together and look at our respect each other. Like, you want to take care of your cancer through chemotherapy and all that. I respect that. And then, but I'm on the side of let's see what's going on. Let's work on your immune system. Let's work on, and some of my patients will go to Hope for Cancer because in the United States, you can't get all the treatments that are out there. You're only going to go through these treatments. So a lot of our practices are considered illegal with cancer treatment. So a lot of my patients have to go out of the country if they want to seek alternative care.
Yeah.
Some places that are actually getting to practice in that realm. Now it's getting a little bit better that they have there are choices in the United States, but a lot of it is in Mexico or going into Germany, Switzerland, those other countries.
Now, since you're going down this path and you've been doing it since 2022, or is it 20?
For all in, yeah.
Okay. And you took this big leap of faith and you had this experiences of just talking to people and once, like using your words, using that file cabinet, planting the seed and just it's going to sprout eventually. How hard has it been because I've experienced this just being in the fitness world and almost outcasted I get with other people who are in your field? Like,
it gets lonely. You don't have very many people.
Yeah.
So I can't call up. It's isolating. It's lonely. So you have to be, we were talking about that today. One of a nurse practitioner who is in the holistic realm, we were talking that we need we need to talk to each other more because there's some hard times when you feel like you're all alone.
Yeah.
And you want to scream and you're being ridiculed by your colleagues that you just want to, hey, let's just come to the table and sit down and talk about it. And we can have difference of how we think, but have you ever looked at the differences? I have, because I've been on that side.
You've been on that side. Yeah.
Yeah. And have you ever looked? Did you ever think, and some people are just so close-minded. It's like a veil.
Yeah.
I once was blind, but now I see. Yeah. It's a veil.
Yeah.
And you have to be open to thinking. Kind of like how I used to think of Muslim people. I was scared that they were all going to drop a bomb on me, that they all hated me until I sat and actually had one in my dental chair. And I'm like, I don't know if I want that, and then I talked to him like, oh, you're the coolest person I've ever seen. We've got more in common than we think. And then that led me to Jamie Winship and Identity Exchange.
Yes.
He's got some great stories and I love listening to him. I want to do Identity Exchange and go through that program sometime.
Yeah.
But I've learned a lot from listening to him.
Yeah. I think for us, we've had to put up even non-disclaimers because we've already had people threatening us and it's been crazy to think that would ever happen. But I remember one of my mentors told me, if you're going down that path of thinking differently than everyone else, be ready for the people who are money hungry and money driven to come after you.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to pray Psalm 91 over yourself a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no weapon formed against me will prosper. You have to get in that realm and Lord, you got me here for a purpose. And then there was Paul and he went to jail, but he wrote some good letters in jail.
And what's
crazy? Guess I get some good research time in,
that is so true.
There's different ways, there's been a lot of people with their licenses taken away. And why? It's just the system doesn't like that. You might be talking about something that might bring down a big money driven system. And that's just part of it.
Yeah.
There's ways around it. But staying strong. And God made me a rebel, always questioning, but Mom, why? I was that kid, but why? I want to know why. I want to know. Don't just tell me. Or I didn't have a lot of friends and I wondered why. But now I'm like, God was preparing me for that. It's preparing me, to where I could do things on my own. I'm very independent. So I don't need a lot.
Yeah.
If I've got him, I've got everything.
I didn't know this until I was talking to you. I didn't know there was a difference between a dentist and an oral surgeon.
Oh, okay.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I was talking to one of my clients earlier today, like, oh yeah. I'm like, what? I was like, I thought they just all
did surgery. So you can dedicate yourself to just like doing root canals. That's an endodontist. Dedicate yourself just doing surgery. It's an oral surgeon.
Who's the one that does like everything of the head, like Max something?
That's an oral surgeon, oral maxillofacial surgeon. So they might, if you get in a car wreck and your face is like broken all up, they're going to get a surgeon and a plastic surgeon for that. So, but general dentists can do everything they want to do. However, you have to practice within
your scope,
what you know, what you can do. You're going to be held accountable to that counterpart. Now, in biological dentistry versus traditional dentistry, since some of the modalities and the way I do things are different, it's really harder to have that say, okay, you can't put me up against like in a court of law. That's not my peer because they don't have the same thoughts as me. So there's like when you come to my office, I have a different agreement that when you come here, if we're going to have that kind of discussion, then it's like a little agreement that we're going to take it peer to my peer, not going outside this system to where you're going to put me up against somebody who isn't my peer. Like another biodentist versus biodentist and not like traditional versus a biodentist because there's apples and oranges.
Yeah, it's like comparing a football athlete to a tennis athlete.
Right.
They're both athletes, but it's different. Their processes are different.
Right.
Their sports are different.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah. So there's protections there that we have to do, just like your disclaimer.
Yep. Yeah, I never thought that. I guess I just never seen that come in. And then I'm like, man, this is crazy how much I have to protect myself and be careful what I say and realize that like if it's a byproduct of that you got your back pain hurt, awesome. Like that's not why you came in here. I'm not a physical therapist. I'm not a medical doctor. Like nor do I say that I am. I'm a fitness trainer getting my master's in biblical counseling. That's what I am. You came in for fitness. I've had plenty of clients that come into the gym. They're like, man, my back feels so much better. My knees feel so much better. And I didn't even know they were hurting. They never told me. They just thought that was normal.
Yeah. Some people don't know.
Yeah.
Like, did you get to go in my bathroom at my office?
I didn't.
So I have a little thing. It's like, what kind of poop is your,
I should put that one in our bathroom.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're like, I didn't know I had the bad kind of poop. I've been having this kind of poop all my life. And I'm like, you don't have that. Well, there's a discussion. Well, let's have a discussion over that. And then I'm like, yep, in your mouth, I can tell that you don't have your hydration. Yeah. You're not producing saliva.
I think it was interesting that you brought that up too when I was over there talking with you and just seeing everything. And I've told you this before we started recording, that your plants in there and your lights, like everything in there has like a purpose and a reason of why it's in there. It's incredible. Like when I walked in Rebecca's practice, one of the things I seen was the lights in the ceiling went off, like those radiating white lights that you see in hospitals. Yeah. Like they were like very not feel good on your eyes at all. And you have
nerve just goes, okay, I'm in here.
It feels like you have a spotlight on you. Like even these lights in here with our podcast rooms, like I have to wear a hat because I get a headache.
Yeah.
Because the light just crushes me.
Like,
but I noticed your lights and they're warm. And I just felt more soothed in there. So tell a little bit, like, why did you choose those based off, like, how did you set up your room?
Versus the fluorescent. Yeah. So the fluorescent's going to give off a bad frequency, and that light is hard on your eyes, that blue light. So it puts you automatically in a stressful mode. Okay.
And that's why they have those blue light glasses, right? Those blue light blockers. I don't know if they work, but.
And then they'll have a vibration and, you get that icky feeling. So I have the incandescent, more like the old that are illegal now. I guess the incandescents, you can't hardly find bulbs right now.
Yeah.
And I have trouble finding those, but I'll dig around and find them. You saw my little Christmas lights. So they're still in Christmas lights.
Yes,
so
they are.
And come in my office, you can get the incandescent in the Christmas light. or you can get that warm light so you won't have that feeling. And then we have the plants to kind of clean the air and make sure we got as much oxygen in the air as possible. While our patients are in there, that helps soothe them. Yeah, and their frequency. So it's kind of like being in a wilderness.
Yeah.
Go into the woods, you know how you feel a different frequency when you go in there versus in a concrete jungle. You feel on your sympathetic nervous system. You're like, rush, 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 rush. Well, that's exactly what I don't want because everybody is, like you said, I hate going to the dentist and anxious anyway being there. So if we can do everything we can to make it as comfortable and calming and nurturing to that parasympathetic rest and digest, then that helps the procedure. It helps the outcomes.
Yeah. And what's interesting that you say that too is that's why I have my warm lights in the gym too. And that natural light through the windows, I try to get as much natural light. That was in this space. That was the only space that had that many windows. I was like, I need windows.
Yeah.
And
it makes a big difference.
Oh yeah.
I go to a gym and I literally get the icks in there because it's got that harsh overhead.
Yes.
And needless to say, you're looking in the mirror and looking at your muscles, and they don't look as good as
when you have those lights.
when you're better lights.
Yep.
But you also work out better in that warm, inviting, lighting environment. And same thing when you go eat. You need to eat going to eat in a cafeteria. You think, but if you go eat cafeteria food in one of those bougie restaurants, you're like, oh, that was better, and your digestion's better.
Yeah.
Because you're in that low and slow tone where your digestion needs to be.
Now, did you feel that when you walked into the gym here? Did you feel like okay,
the warmth and the dark? It's like a cave.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually went talked to a colored psychologist, and I guess they emphasized on that. And I was like, what do I need to do for the gym, like color? And one of my friends was black. He was like, dude, you should paint it all black. It'll look really good. And he was right. Like it looks good.
Yeah. It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
All of those little things, the smells, the sound, what frequency of your music is on. A lot of offices like that I've worked at are going in, let's get our hyped up because they're having to go. They're employees, but their patients are not. So they're feeling rushed. The patient felt rushed, even though their procedure wasn't rushed. Maybe they took their time. But because the music wasn't that rest and digest and keeping that parasympathetic going instead of the sympathetic tone.
It's interesting you say that too, because if I have a client who is more anxious driven, really high stressful job, takes a lot of risks, like the last thing I give them is interval training or hard workouts. I actually do the reverse. I slow them down, give them less reps, have them lift heavy, but it's maximum amount of rest. So get their heart rate completely down as quickly as possible. And it's crazy how much their performance shoots through the roof because you have these people who are used to just go.
Yeah, I've seen them. Oh, in the gym.
It's crazy.
Like, wait, bring it down here.
And by them bringing it down here, just like what you said, it's fascinating. They're like, I'm the strongest and the fitter I've ever been, and I feel like I'm not doing anything because they're so used to just revved up.
Yeah, that cortisol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that cortisol will kill you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's interesting, too. That's one thing I studied probably a couple of years ago is how the inverse relationship with cortisol and insulin. And it really tells you a lot about yourself if your cortisol is constantly high.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of people they're addicted to it though.
Yeah.
Their bodies, they think they have to have it. And they do the caffeine and I'm like, you need to start being addicted to rest and digest.
And what's interesting you say, I'm glad you brought that up because even supplements like with caffeine, if you have somebody who's already high strung, has high anxiety, the last thing you want to do is feed that.
Yeah.
It only makes it worse.
It makes it so much worse. And then you must be talking about my husband working out because he's like on Mr. Type A personality.
Oh, that's what your husband does?
Oh, and he does that. And then he listens to, I cannot stand his music. It's just like, you know, he's working out or running, and I'm like, I'm more yacht rock, and I'm like,
yeah,
sailing, you know. It just drives me insane, you know. I like the chill. Now I need a little bit stronger workout. I mean, if I'm running or doing something like that, you know, your
more
beats
upbeat.
per minute,
Yeah,
beats per minute make a big difference.
Yeah, if I have somebody super chill in the gym and super relaxed and like a Kuna Matata personality, you know, I'm like, I usually give them pretty tough workouts to get them out of that. Like, all right, we gotta,
you need that. Yeah.
Let's get you up a little bit. And it's funny, their energy comes back up. They're
like, oh yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
It's really interesting. Now talk a little bit about, it seems like you're pretty much outgrowing your building.
Yeah.
Do you have a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan? Where do you see yourself? What does your practice look like? Because it seems like you guys are packed.
I would really, my dream, and I think we're working on that, a group of us, is to have a wellness center.
Nice.
So an integrative wellness center would be primo, where we can come in and like say you're a patient, you come in, I've got this, and then we all meet together and it's like, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our patient, CJ. Let's say he's got this, and this. Well, I think he just needs to work on the peace pillar and get some vitamin D. I had a guy in here the other day. I'm like, just the peace pillar and vitamin D. He thinks he's got all this stuff, but really it all checks out good.
Yeah.
It's not anything I can see. Did you see anything? Well, no. Did you see anything? Okay, well, then we might go there. Or it might be, y'all, their mouth is got this chronic infection, this, and this. And I see sleep apnea. I'm like, and I see erosion. Hey, can you handle the gut? Because I've got to work on
the teeth.
You know, what I do, the teeth. They need gut health. I need you to get that gut better so we can do this surgery because we want to prepare for that.
Yeah.
So that's where we hope to have.
Working on that. It's exciting.
Yeah. And my dream is to have, well, you come in and it's more like my waiting room is now, but you've got like a barista coffee shop feel.
Yeah.
And then we have like, okay, Miss So-and-so, we've prepared for you this little drink that you do before. Like it's got lavender and charcoal and lemonade because you're going to have a mercury filling taken out. We'll see that'll be a binder for the mercury that's going to be released when we take out the filling. So just different things like that. Like,
yeah,
you know,
offer better care.
Oh yeah. And you sit around and like we're talking now and we're drinking a water or some kind of other little thing that kind of goes with your treatment. That'll help it. Yeah.
Now, has the fillings changed with teeth? I'm glad that you said that because that just sparked my ears too. Are we using the same?
That's a whole subject about biocompatibility and mercury fillings.
Yeah.
Silver fillings. Yeah. So mercury vapor is not good.
Mm-hmm.
How many people have played with a mercury thermometer and their mom was like, oh my gosh. Go look at the EPA if you want to do a deep dive on what to do if you break a mercury thermometer. You have to clear the room, clean the carpet. I mean, it's a whole list of everything. You have to basically call it hazmat. So if you were let's say you were at school and you were in the chemistry lab and you had a mercury thermometer and you broke it, they would have to clear the room. There's a whole bunch of stuff you have to do for OSHA and EPA standards. That same amount of mercury is in your tooth. It's just
the filling.
Yeah, the filling. It's just mixed up with a little bit of powder of some other minerals and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's called an amalgam. So then that's put in your mouth, but that's always giving off that vapor. Every time you chew, every time you grind your teeth, every time you brush. So mercury is not good for you at all. And you leave it in the mouth constantly. That's dementia, kidney disease. Yeah. And it wreaks havoc on the body. Some people can't excrete it like they should. So then they get mental illness. There was one dentist who works in my realm and he had to completely quit dentistry because it was so bad for him that because his body couldn't get rid of it. He couldn't methylate it. So there's a lot about getting out of mercury filling.
So are they still using it today? Or
some of them here in Mississippi, yep. Because, a patient will go in like, Doc, I only want what my insurance covers. I don't want to pay any more.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to get that because insurance companies
pay for it.
They pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll pay 100% for it.
Now,
but to the detriment of your health.
Yeah.
Insurance companies are not for you. Okay, let me just get that straight.
Yeah.
They're there to make money. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Now, so what type of fillings do you use now? Do you use fillings?
So my patients are usually very well versed on what kind of filling they want. So the compatibility, I have to go in and look and see if it has fluoride releasing, if it's, it doesn't have any forever chemicals. There's all different kind of things that I have to look for when purchasing the filling material that I put in my patient's mouth.
Yeah.
If they're really hypersensitive and want to know what the best would be, then they do a blood test. I send it off, and it tells me what materials are compatible with them.
Mm-hmm. Now, if somebody has those mercury and they want to get it out and they want to seek people out who would take them out, is it wise to take them out, or is it just to say, hey,
you have to take them out safely, very safely, because that's like one of the worst ones. You see a lot of dentists that are shaken, or they've got Parkinson's, or they've got some kind of tick, and usually that's because of mercury poisoning, and they've got too much in their system by taking them out. So I have to take precautions. My staff has to take precautions. And then my patients fully got this whole little outfit. We look like space people with a little respirator and everything, and the patient, it has to be prepped for that. Especially when we're dealing with some really sick people and Alzheimer's, Lou Gehrig's, dementia, chronic illness, autoimmune diseases. We're really careful about so you don't want to just drill it out, which is what I used to do in the past. I'll tell the truth.
Yeah.
I didn't know better, do better.
Yeah.
And went and got myself educated and learned how to do it properly and safely. So not only for my health, my assistant's health, my team members' health, and the patient's health.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess it depends if you should take it out then, right? Or not necessarily.
All of them need to come out.
Okay.
It's just like timing on when to come out.
When they should come out. Yeah. I didn't even think about that, how hard that would be to get out of that tooth like that.
Yeah, well, then
is it pretty hard to do?
You have to take care of it. So then you're looking at, what do I need to do? Pulpal regenerative therapies, and then there'll be ozone. We do things to help them, nourish them, making sure that they're prepped, vitamin D levels up so they can heal afterward. All of those little things that we prep their system that they can eliminate the mercury easily. They're not going to get more sick by just having this procedure, but it actually
going to help them.
Yeah.
It's interesting. That's one thing I really was sparked up my ears too about you when I was talking to you, and then kind of based off the information I read and learned, is that you check for the vitamin D levels before you do a big operation on a person, because that also tells you the path of healing. If it's not, then it's okay, well, maybe you need to go down the street and get your vitamin D levels up, and then we'll have the surgery so that way you have the best outcome afterwards.
Right. I like to prep all my patients. Make sure they're got a really good nutrient diet. So we'll talk about diet. Make sure their gut health is better. I know we're trying to make it better. So part of it is, making sure that we've got a little bit of a good terrain to work with. And then, you've got to have vitamin D, vitamin C, omega-3, all those things, all those minerals.
Yeah.
Hydration, everything.
Yeah,
after elective, because most of our stuff is elective.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Dentistry is elective, but so is healthcare. If you do prevention, then you won't have to worry about making that decision.
Yeah.
So perfect world case scenario would be one day, I hope that I won't be needed. I hope that my patients don't need me. I hope that I don't have to say, see me every 6 months. I hope I can say, let's come every 5 years.
Yeah.
Or once a year.
Just to make sure everything's good.
Yeah. I think you're doing good. That was 2 years. Oh, well, you look great. Well, let's do another 2 years. That looks good to me. That model works better for me.
It's interesting you say that too, because one of my favorite psychologists says that too, is like, if you're still seeing the same psychologist for a couple of years, unless it's like you've had this really traumatic experience and it's going to take a little bit. But majority of people, it's just like, if you're still seeing the same person and you're still having the same result, you probably need to see a new psychologist, and maybe I'm just not for you.
Right.
It's just like, why are you still going to the same one but suffering from the same
thing? And that was why I was practicing that insane dentistry for 23 years.
Yeah.
Like, you keep on coming back. Every time you come back in here, I don't want that. You're spending all this money. I don't want you to keep on perpetually having a money pit. What can we do? What else is there more? I want the whole, hey, you're well. Go tell others.
Yeah.
That's the way Jesus made them whole, made them well. You're well. You're healed. You're fine. Now go and tell others. Be happy. Live
life. Currently, what do you feel like you're learning right now, or what are you studying right now that's it's taken a lot of your brain power and that you're excited about?
So there's a new surgical procedure called the Gennady open wound healing technique, and it's the surgery to make it better, so we have better outcomes. There's just better more biocompatible. So it goes with my biocompatible implants. So that's my other thing. Always learning functional medicine type modalities, just so I can better talk with my colleagues.
Yeah.
And we can all be on the same page, or I can say, hey, what do you think about this? And then keeping up with my patients. Whew,
I bet.
It's the biohackers. They're like, I heard this. Is this good? What about methylene blue? That's one of those biohacker things. Or what about this? And I'm like, okay, calm down. We want to make sure it's not a fad. And we're saying 10 years from now, oh crap, I did that, and now I'm suffering the consequences. So we got to make sure that some of those things that you're hearing on the internet are not just whims.
Yes.
Somebody saying, oh, well, let's talk about this and see if somebody out there really does it, kind of thing, because there could be some of those things. Yeah. So everything I do in my practice has like literature or research. There's somebody proven, whether it's in the United States or Germany is where I get a lot of my training from. Germany and Switzerland is top in healthcare.
Isn't it crazy? And this is what I've noticed too, just with me personally, is when you study research outside the United States, it's very different.
Very. Very different. So they're not as pharmaceutical sponsored.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that too.
Yeah, because you can't get funding and everything, but some of those are really good. So they'll go out, somebody will have that idea, they go out of the United States to do it because they can it's cheaper in the funding, and sometimes the United States won't let you do some of the things and use some of the treatment modalities. So it's really interesting, but to listen to colleagues from around the world talk about, well, I have this machine and it helps to do this, and like we can't get it in the United States.
Dang.
Yeah.
Man, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
More about your practice now. Do you feel like, how many employees do you have? Like, is it just, are you the sole owner? Like,
I'm the sole owner. Okay. It's just me and my hygienist. I'm looking for another one if anybody would like to be a hygienist and challenge themselves with biological dentistry. It's a lot of fun.
So you're looking for another one additional to the one you have? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And 2 assistants.
2 assistants.
Great. And then my front desk. So
you have 5.
It's about all. Yeah, it's about all we can handle in that small space right now. Yeah. So, but we're working it out so we can have that hygienist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Yeah. Do you have anybody like that's been interested potentially in it?
It's hard. They're going to have to do a lot. I mean, challenging. Let's don't say hard. it's got to be a calling.
Yeah.
It's got to be somebody who is wanting to take their practice to the next level and learn and just really get all into that person and the human body and change their way of thinking.
Yeah.
And so it's going to take it. The God's going to send me the right person.
Yeah.
I know He will, because it's a lot of fun.
So, how would it look like in your practice, just so the audience kind of general idea of, because it's rare to run into a dentist like this, just like it is rare to run into a fitness coach like me.
Yeah.
So let's say I walk in, I want to get a teeth cleaning, I don't even know if you accept insurance. Do you accept insurance? Like, walk us through that process of what it looks like, so that way it's like they can get a visual what it looks like working with you.
So I have patients, usually they'll call, and I have them to read the paperwork first, like before you come into the appointment. Like, we'll send you the paperwork. Once you fill that out, if you still want to come in and see me, great. There's a little bit of a waiting list because I do, where you go into a new patient at a regular dentist, they're usually in and out in an hour. Mine's a 3-hour appointment for my new patients. So that takes time.
Yep.
And I can't take as many, because then on the back work of that, I've got a treatment plan and do all these things. So it takes me about 3 or 4 hours on a extensive case to treatment plan and get the model set up for them. Being that take that time, I can't go on an insurance model. Like when I said a while ago, the insurance model wants to pay X amount. Now, I will gladly give you the paperwork and you can get reimbursed. But insurances in the past 30 years since I've been practicing have paid the same, $1,500 a year. That's it.
Wow.
So you're paying all these premiums and never getting any more insurance. So
Holy cow.
that model is really bad. It's more like a rebate.
Yeah.
When you go to the store and like, oh, you fill out this and you get your rebate and get 50 cents back because you bought $300 worth of product of theirs just to try to get you in there to do it, so it doesn't work in biological dentistry because I do so much more. More than taking out a tooth. Taking out a tooth is very extensive for me because I consider it an organ, and that's a big deal to get that out instead of like the old way I used to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Taking out, not thinking anything about it. Well, did I check their vitamin D? No. Did I prepare that patient? No. Did I do all these things? No, I just said and then thinking anything about it. So there's a lot that goes on with biodentistry. I have a Mectron, I have a laser, I have all these things that to be a biodentist you have to have, and then to take it out properly. And patients are educated; they know. They ask me, "Well, do you have this? Do you do this?"
So they've already done their information.
Yeah.
It's interesting too, because like people, what I've noticed is that people that have, I guess, like similar paths, what we try to look at the holistic approach. The people that come to us, they've already done their information.
They know. I love that about my patients. So they're there, they're eager, they've been waiting for their appointment. They're so excited to be in that place, and I'm excited because I get to see them.
Yeah,
it's like, when I get to open up their cone beam X-ray, that's like one of the big things we have to have, and it's 3D, and it's like opening up a Christmas present for every patient. Like, oh, I get to meet this individual's, on this level, and it's so exciting and so fun and so invigorating to go on that journey with them and to take them on a journey of their body. And here's how it's talking to me, and here's how it's talking to you, and here's the symptoms. And they don't even know. They're like, oh, it's fascinating.
It seems like you're building a good relationship with your client and getting to know them, so that way you can have a good outcome.
I love that.
Mm.
Yeah, because they're going to have best outcomes, and if they feel comfortable and they feel like they've been heard, that's the big thing. Have I been heard? Have I been valued?
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed, and me and Ben have talked about. Ben's read this book on persuasion. I forget what pastor wrote it, but Ben loved it. He was just like, and it talks, what's one of the strong pillars that he has in his book is just like, has your people or whoever you're leading or whoever you're talking to been heard? And have you asked questions about their heard?
Yeah.
Are you just assuming of what they're saying? Are you asking detailed questions? All your presuppositions that you have or assumptions that you have, are you actually confirming them, or are you just assuming those?
Right.
Which goes back to what you said.
It sounds like a great book.
Yeah, it's really cool on how he talks to people and how he thinks now. And it's like, okay, this person's like this, so I should probably talk to him like this because this is their language. This is how they speak. I can't just conform to how I speak.
Right. And it sounds a little bit Jamie Winshipy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. It's interesting how that you start to get all these connections and you start to build off. You're like, man, all this stuff is just kind of building off each other once you start getting the same pack, as I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, okay. I'll pick this. Oh.
Yeah. Let's say somebody is in Oxford, right? And they have nothing wrong with their teeth, but they just want somebody like you. Mm-hmm. Like they're like, hey,
I have those people.
I just want to get a cleaning. I don't have any toothaches as I know of, and unless you find something that you think is going to be wrong. What does that look? Is that the same kind of process, or what does that look like?
Basically, because I found out I want to know everything before I go in it. Then I can sow peace be with you. You know, I used to do it the other way, and then they would come in and go, well, what about this? Now, if they're coming from another biodentist and they just moved here, and it's like that, it's a little different. We aren't all created equal, so there's some of them that are just calling themselves a holistic or bio, and the only reason they are is because they do take out mercury fillings easy and the way there should be, not easy, but they cautiously, that's the word I want to use. And then they don't do fluoride. Rest of it, they don't care about. Well, the people really want the journey through. I mean, they want all the things, and that's the way I would want.
Yeah,
If I'm going to go in, I'm going to go all the way in. Yeah. And I want to know all the things. And then once you do that, then I can go, I'd love to say, okay, we did this journey. Everything looks great.
Looks great.
Now, I'll see you in a couple of years.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Even though, I mean, but you can come back if you want to. And some of them will. They're like, no, I want to come back.
Yeah, I just want
because they like the space.
Yeah. Like the space. They like the relationship they built.
Yeah.
And it's like, why not pay for another cleaning? You have the hygienist there, so they'll clean your teeth
and
for
some
you.
of them will, can I come every 3 months and just get them polished? I'm like, absolutely, you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's cool facial. That you're open to offering that for your clients. Because that's what I've realized too with ID Fitness is I have some clients, they'll sign up for, I work out 2 to 3 times a week, but it's like, but during this season, I'm kind of bored. Like, work slowed down, I'm an empty nester now. Like, could you offer me like 4 or 5 days a week and just make sure I'm not overtraining and I'm just doing some type of movement? Cause I'm not going to do it without you.
Yeah. Be accountable.
Yeah. That's what they're screaming basically at me. Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, absolutely. And like, I used to be very black and white about that. I'm so glad I got rid of that, just offering that. Like, no, we can work around it. You're just screaming for accountability. Really.
Yeah. I have to have accountability when working out. I won't do it as well. I have to have also a group workout. Another thing that we haven't talked about, we do offer holistic aesthetics. So that's another thing that a lot of people don't know about. There's a whole realm on facial aesthetics that.
So what is this?
So the anti-Botox. Oh, so, yeah. So if you like Botox, then, but you don't like all the toxins, then there's like things we can do for that.
Oh, okay.
Platelet-rich fibrin and biofillers. There's like biohacking for facial stuff. Yeah. So,
holy cow.
Yeah. You can do like lips without any unnatural fillers.
Fillers in it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed.
A holistic esthetician. She's great. I have her.
Wow.
Bria. So she's really careful not to use chemicals. She has her own natural product that she does. And we work together pretty good because that's usually good after a surgery is to have a massage to get the lymph and get it all draining and get it out of your system.
Yeah. Do you recommend people, I just thought of this, to clean off their own plaque?
I mean, if that's what they want to do.
Like, would that necessarily be harmful?
There's like these little things you can get from Amazon. I've seen it. They're little scalers. They're ultrasonic little things. You can get that on, but you just want to know why. Like, yeah, you're building it up, but you shouldn't be building it. You know.
So there's a point like you really don't want plaque buildup, or is it necessary?
The body should be self-cleaning.
Okay.
So if your hydration is correct, your eating is correct, then you shouldn't have to worry about that. Got it. Yeah.
Huh. So you talk about this this conference. I mean, you talked about it last time.
Oh, yeah.
So talk a little bit about that, because I had no idea until Missy Hewitt told me about it.
Oh, yeah.
Carol told me about it. Yeah. Talk about it.
So Need Your Cure. We came up with this. Last year was our first conference. We came up with this. So my friends got into Sue Becker and freshly milled flour. I don't know if you know that, where you take the whole wheat berries and you grind it up at home, and then you make.
Carol's told me about it.
Yeah. Okay. So they did that, and they said, "Hey, we've got Sue Becker coming in," and I'm like, "You brought Sue Becker in?" And I'm thinking, well, why don't we just make this into a conference? People would love this.
Yeah.
So it grew, and then we found Dr. Ben Edwards out of Lubbock, Texas. He has a podcast called You're the Cure. Great physician.
And he's a physician for, what does he do for?
He's holistic now, but he was traditional.
Got it.
Had a huge practice out in West Texas.
So what do you do specifically, like before he went holistic?
He was just a general practitioner.
Just a general practitioner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And Sue with her freshly milled flour, and she gave a talk, and then I kind of introduced myself, and we had a chiropractor, Dr. Amari Kimball out of Memphis, because she invited me to one of her conferences to be set up as a biological dentist. And we thought that her conference was so neat. We were like, oh, let's do it. And let's get Amari, and let's get Ben, and let's get Sue. So we did. Yeah. And now we've got like a whole wellness conference, but we focus on faith and flourishing. So our pillars are the peace pillar. You've got to have a relationship. We prefer Jesus. But you got to work on your peace pillar first. Yeah. Then we have hydration, movement.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to move. God made us to move. He didn't make us to be slothful and lazy.
Yeah.
Rest. That's kind of more with peace, just being a pause.
Yeah.
But sleep is active, so sleep would be in there. Nutrition, of course. Nutrition can be sun. Nutrition can be a lot of things besides just eating. Yeah.
Huh. And now, is it coming this year too? So
yes, it's in August 7th. Thank you for asking. Yeah. I hope this podcast gets to you before it's over with. 7th through the 9th. We're going to have to now. We have a lot of great lineups. So the 7th, on that Thursday, we have like breakout sessions, and we're doing that at Pine Lake, so we can have like the little individual classes.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be, somebody will be talking about herbs and how they're medicinal. And what's kind of around us. Somebody will be talking about sprouting. Somebody will be talking about women's health and eating nutritionally around their cycles, and for fertility and for menopause and things like that.
Yeah.
Then we have Etta Hills that will be talking about the soil and how to cultivate soil that's good and healthy.
What?
Not just dirt.
Yeah.
And then Bria will be talking about detoxifying your skincare. So that would be good. Then they're like little 30-minute sessions with that. And then my hygienist will be talking about nasal hygiene and nitric oxide.
Okay.
So how important that is for your health. And then Friday, it'll be an all-day event. This event will be with Dr. Ben Edwards and Sue Becker, the biblical nutritionist. I don't know if you've heard of Bob Hamp and Polly Hamp. Bob Hamp is great. You need to look his Freedom series.
Okay.
You would love it.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, check out Bob Hamp. And then his wife, Polly. And then the next day, I think, when Andrea Mangrum, she's the she is biblical, but she's the blood analyst. So her husband is the coach, one of the coaches out at Ole Miss on the baseball team. I think he's the pitcher's coach.
Okay.
She may correct me on that. But anyway, she is a naturopath. And
I got to get her on the podcast.
Yeah, she'd be great. She's great.
Okay.
And then on Friday, I'll be there. Of course, the others will be there. Then we have a couple of people coming in we're really excited about that we didn't have time, that we might sneak in somewhere. Robin Perry Braun, she's a great integrative physician.
Wow.
And she wrote a book called Thrive. She brings in the biblical aspects of quantum theory and all this stuff.
Cow.
It's really cool. I listened to her on Ben's podcast, Dr. Ben.
Yeah.
And then my holistic esthetician trained under her. So I'm really excited about meeting her finally.
That's cool.
And then we have the cows from Branch Basics that has that company. Have you heard of that company? It's cleaning products and everything. So they're going to be there on Saturday. One of them was just on a podcast with Alex Clark. I don't know if you watch Cultural Apothecary with Alex Clark, but she's real big in the Gen Zers on Turning Point podcast. So their whole network of podcasts. So anyway, Allison and Kristen Ye, I don't know, they're going to be there.
Man.
We're excited about them being there.
I'm so bummed because I'm racing that weekend.
Oh,
I'm so bummed right now because I'm going.
Because you talked about maybe wanting to go.
Yes, I was gonna go for sure if I can get a ticket and everything. But Ben will be here, so I'll send Ben. Ben will love that. He'll eat that stuff up. He loves that stuff too. But yeah, I have a race in Indiana that all my friends are going to. Got an Airbnb. So.
Oh, it's a whole thing. That sounds like fun too.
Yeah, I have like 4 to 6 big races I do a year, and that's one of them. And I'm like, dang, I wish it's always that weekend. I can't.
Oh, and then Saturday there's limited tickets. Saturday night we're having Sue Becker in the kitchen, so you actually get to see her doing her thing in the kitchen and ask her questions and do all the things that she does.
Now, did you have it the same time last year in August?
It's with that bit of the sip.
Okay.
So we had it at the Powerhouse last year. And this year we moved it out to the Jefferson just because we had sold out last year and we didn't have any room according to the fire code that we could add people. And this year we wanted to be able to add people, especially if they're late signing up. We could have plenty of tickets or if they wanted to come in last minute because they found out their schedule freed up. So we got a bigger venue.
Now.
Oh, and Elizabeth High School's doing the food. And it's going to be a spa menu. So very light and healthy. And everything that we've asked her to. Now she can cook some really unhealthy food, but we told her we want healthy. So can you do us the healthiest menu you've ever done? So she's going to do that.
I'm so bummed. Dang.
Yeah.
But how many people attended the event last year?
About 200.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a great turnout.
And then how much for the audience? Like how much for the tickets? Roughly, is it early bird tickets?
I think it's like $75 per day. You will have to have meal is separate because some people don't want the meal.
Right.
I can't imagine not. But anyway, so that's per day, and then we have I think we have like 2 VIP tickets left. So what that gets you is Thursday, Friday all day, Friday night VIP dinner we're having with the speakers. Saturday, and then Sue's Intensive on Saturday night. So it gets you all the things, all your meals, everything you get in one whole ticket.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
So you can buy 2-day ticket, and I think there's a little cheaper if you did Friday and Saturday, and then you can just buy a daily. And if you wanted to come in at the door, this year we made it to where you could come up at the door and purchase it.
Oh, so bummed.
Yeah, and then we have all kinds of great vendors from around here. We've picked some really good ones that we wanted to work with. Birdhouse, Core Fitness. I think. I wish you were coming.
That's all good. I love getting all the locals in.
Yeah. Bronze Olive for olive oil.
Yeah.
Trying to think of all of them. They're just a whole bunch of really good people.
Now, basically the capacity was like 200 people at your last one. Like that's all you could do.
That's all we could do.
So what's your capacity now? What like?
We could do 300.
Oh wow,
300 or 400.
So you have a lot more.
The Jefferson's
room.
really big.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to have lunch, you better buy your ticket because we can only we have to have it cut off. I think of August 1st for Elizabeth to be
able to set
buy
up
the food and all that stuff. Yeah.
Man, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to tell Ben, like Ben, well, I think we have to edit this podcast because we got to get it out there fast now.
Yeah.
Or at least this clip.
Yeah. So they'll get to learn all things about the health, all things kind of like my talk, and then have some worship and a little bit of Jesus.
Yes.
We got praising for creating us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So in closing, I really enjoyed our talk and our time. And I'm so glad that you came on.
I hope I wasn't confusing to anybody. If you are, I'm sorry.
You made a lot of sense for me. So is there anything else that you would want to talk about or that you want to hit on or anything that you want to let other people know?
Yeah. No matter where you are in your health journey or
pull the microphone here.
Yeah. Where you are, that better in your health journey. Make sure you have a relationship with Jesus, not go to church. It's personal.
Yeah.
Have a relationship. Seek it out. And if you seek him first on your journey, like, do I go and get my mercury fillings out? Or do I go and work on my gut? Or do I go just get CJ to be my personal trainer? Seek first the kingdom of God. He'll tell you. And a lot of us don't know how to listen and to sit and just ask. Say, hey, you created me. I love you. Thank you. And I have this problem and which I don't know where to turn. What should I do? Show me the person and make it open to me that I would invite that person or invite that thought into my space so I can heal, because by his stripes we are healed. We're already healed. He already did that. He did that. He conquered it. We just got to believe it and live in that and be that, what he's done, and know that he did it for us already.
Yeah.
Yep. That's about it.
Amen to that. I think that is a great way to end it. I am all for telling people that they need Jesus for sure.
Because we are all a bunch of sick tickets.
We are.
But through him, we're healed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Well, Rebecca, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. This was so much fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. See y'all. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye-bye.